Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you.
To tip or not to tip usually isn't the question. More often than not, it's about how much of a tip is appropriate for the services rendered. But not at Bar Marco in Pittsburgh's Strip District. The restaurant is planning to do away with tips come this April. That's right. No tips for the barkeep or the server or anybody else. So how do they plan to keep the barkeep and the server on staff? Well, Kevin Cox is here with the answer. He's a partner in Bar Marco. Andrew Heffner is events manager and one of the employees who've recently gone tipless. Welcome. Good to have you both here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit. First, for folks who don't know Bar Marco, it's been around for about 3 years now?
Yes, 3 years. And we're in the Strip District on 23rd and Penn. We're in a 160-year-old firehouse, just a beautiful structure and a nice part of that neighborhood. Really
cool space. Were you a big restaurant guy to begin with before you and your partners decided to open this place up?
No, not really. After school, we all went our separate ways. It was me and some high school buddies, and I was in banking. Bobby and Justin were traders, and Michael was an architect. And we were about 26 when we decided to get out of that and try and open a restaurant.
Chuck the corporate world and plunge into the restaurant game. Well, your timing was right here in Pittsburgh. There's been a real explosion of excitement on the dining scene here.
Yeah, it's come a long way since then.
Yeah, Andrew, how about you? You kind of fell into this when these guys opened the restaurant?
Yeah, I'd worked more in nonprofit sector and different kind of helping in a lot of ways doing events things and fundraising work, and then started to be interested in other areas, and these guys were opening just about 3 years ago and knew my wife and asked us to come help out. And so I worked in the dish room for the first couple of weeks, just like helping out in some of the evenings, and then realized how fun it is to go out in the front and interact with all the people that are coming in. And I pretty much had every job within Bar Marco ever since then.
And all very tip-based until
yes.
your most recent jobs. The pros and cons of working for tips. What do you think?
Right. I mean, I think it can be great because there's this really direct and like tangible benefit to a good night. If you have a shift where things go really well and everyone's really happy and excited, it's busy, and a lot of times people are even tipping in cash. You have money right that night, and there's a straightforward benefit. Then you feel like, okay, this was great, and I'm tired, but I have proof that it all worked out.
Walking out the door with a wad of cash. It was a good evening. Yeah, right.
But it's also a lot to ride up and down on. There's it's cold one night and no one comes out, or the shifts aren't any shorter just because there's more or less people in there, or you have people that don't understand what's going on and it becomes like a harder night, or they don't leave very much of a tip. And for a long time you just kind of roll with whatever's happening, and everyone else does, and there's a lot of settings where you can make a lot of money, but you still never really know what you can plan on, what you can do long term. And I've been married now almost over 4 years, and my wife and I love Pittsburgh and want to think about things like buying a house and planning on being here more long term. And if it's hard to get a mortgage if you have wildly
that kind of volatility. Yeah, right. Predictability, stability in terms of income and revenue is important. From your perspective, why did you decide, let's just change the way we do business?
As we entered our third year, we were thinking about the things that allowed us to evolve and get to where we're at. And there were a lot of characters that are an integral part of the Bar Marco story. Andrew, who on day one was with us. There's another gentleman who he's been with us 2.5 years, and he now runs our wine room downstairs and runs our wine program. And there are all these members that have been around for a long time, and we realized that the biggest risk was losing these people that are a part of the team, a part of the family. So try and find some incentives that would provide some stability, that would enable them to, I don't know, just make it easier to make a decision to stick with us for the long term.
So you're going to put everybody on salary and benefits?
All tipped employees, all full-time employees,
right.
All full-time too, front of house and back of house.
So from you, it's really about retaining great people. You've got great people, they're part of the scene, people come to expect them. It's that relationship you have with them and your customers.
There's a lot of talent, and they're not merely a server. They are professionals in the industry, and their role is to guide you through the experience. They know our menu, they know our beverages, just kind of lead you through to make sure that you have the best time you can have while you're dining with us.
Good reaction among the employees so far?
Yeah, I think everyone was sort of, you're taking it back at first. What's that going to mean? What are we going to do? Everything's always been this one way. But then once you look at it and realize, like, yeah, we can stay here for a long time. This can be my career if I want it to be.
There were a lot of questions, but we spoke with all of the employees, and made sure that they were aware of our intentions, and kind of tailored it to make sure that it addressed everyone's needs. They were very involved in this decision.
Only a little bit of time left, but the big question I know you've gotten from all over the country since this news broke. Now, to make this work, you're going to have to raise prices? How are you going to pull this off?
We're going to work on utilizing the talent as opposed to the cost of ingredients. As we retain this talent, add some depth to the menu and use some things that are a little bit more technique driven than price of ingredient driven. And so, we'll maintain the relative average of labor and cost of goods sold. That will stay constant, and we'll just skew it more towards the labor side of things. So, and I know there's a profit sharing piece of this as well. You're hoping that's what really incents the employees to hustle as much as ever? Yep, so that's still the incentive, to do it as, there will be a bonus schedule. Oh, it's exciting. Well, good luck. It starts in April? At the latest. We might introduce it a little bit earlier. All right, well, there's been plenty of excitement since this hit the scene. Really a cool idea. Fascinating to see how it works. Kevin Cox and Andrew Heffner of Bar Marco, Pittsburgh Strip District. Thanks so much. Yeah. And we'll be back in a minute with a little more dollars and cents. Stay with us.